Nothing says America like killing animals for fun. This is the original Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. There was a variety of these games that were to release after this one. The Wii had its own little gimmicky little package together where you got the gun and the game together. From what I remember, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts was more of a horror game. It was kind of spooky. Out of all the hunting games that exist, and not many of them really do, this one's the Call of Duty of hunting games. And I'm not just saying that because it's made by Activision, but these games typically became more of shooters. There was one on Steam that I wanted to get really bad called African Adventures, and from the gameplay footage, it looked like it was third-person Call of Duty, but instead of killing Russian soldiers, you're killing, Simba and his parents. One big giant problem with this version is that it has some issues running on Windows 10, like everything, but this one is a very special kind of issue. If you notice in the background, the graphics don't look like they should. When you select your character, everyone's kind of like untextured. Well, because this game is not the most well-known or popular game out there, it took me a while to figure out how to fix this. I found one video where someone in the comment section figured out on his own. Thank you to that guy. And pretty much what you have to do is you have to go into video settings, change the video quality, and the graphics will pop in. However, once you load up a game, you have to do it again. So just because you do it in the main menu doesn't mean it'll carry over. You have to do it once you're in-game as well. And I don't know about this one. I played a lot of hunting games as a kid, and I play a lot of hunting games now. I'm currently playing Hunter Call of the Wild. And this one's just bleh. Everything is on a linear path. Every map that I came to, I'm walking in a straight line. And I know I'm using the assist, the animal assist, which is with that red dot on the screen. But just look at this map. I got stuff on either side of me. It'd be impossible not to find my way. Big nitpicky gripe is the selection of weapons. Where's my 30-30? Literally, they don't have any 30-30s. They got 30-06, but no 30-30, which is my favorite rifle. Just to prove how easy this game can be, I took everything off the screen, the HUD, the assists, everything, and I still managed to find my target with little to no effort. I didn't use any calls, I didn't use any spray, I didn't use anything Hunter-like. I just ran, and I happened to find him, because the game is super linear. That's also the thing that grinds my gears about this Dangerous Hunts game, is that you can turn off all this HUD element, but the crosshair is still there. Why is there an option to turn off the HUD, but the crosshairs don't go away? I don't understand that. Also, the HUD's just trash. Like, look at this. It clutters up 80% of the screen. And a lot of games I like Far Cry 3, for example, have this issue, not just this one, but I really hate it when the HUD elements are just a little far from the margins of the screen. Like, why? Why can't they just move that down? It's like, you got all that free space, but no, you want to push it in a little bit. I also noticed that there's hydration, nutrition, and condition. To my knowledge, in the 30 minutes I played this game, I don't think you ever get food consumables. So I think this is just like a tick down thing. Like, the more time you spend in the hunt, the less time you have to survive before you need food. I don't know. I never really got that far. One thing that's really weird is that you immediately drown when you go in water. So like, as soon as your head ducks underneath, you start taking damage. When I didn't know how to fix the graphics, I was walking around in the untextured hell, and next thing you know, I'm in water drowning. And then the game warden apparently magically saved me. I don't know what that's about. So yeah, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. I'm not the huge fan of it, but it was probably revolutionary for its time. So time to the next games. From what I remember as a kid, both these games are relatively the same, so we're just going to look at Deer Hunter. The two games I picked up, and Deer Hunter, the one that you're seeing in the background now, was made by Infogrames, and they made a lot of stuff, including the Backyard series. These guys made so many games. Remember when I talked about ValueSoft being kind of like the budget developer? Infogrames was kind of the same way. Now, I will say Deer Hunter's more of a simulation, and boy, does it act like it. You right-click to be able to free cam, and then you right-click again to pull up these little menus where you can select things and, change your weapon and reload and stuff like that. There's also keyboard shortcuts, but you could use this screen as well. The maps are absolutely ginormous. They're also a little creepy. Here in Wyoming in the winter, with the snow falling, it kind of looks like the ash falling after a nuclear meltdown, like Chernobyl or something. And then I found this old decrepit truck, and here is a house that's abandoned. One thing I will mention is that this one also had runtime issues. If somehow you pick up Infogram's legendary hunter, Deer Hunter, know that you have to run the game in Windows to Windows 10 or else your mouse will click through the screen and Alt-tab it. I had that issue several times. This one has a little bit more of a character customization. It has a lot of attributes that you can increase and decrease after doing so many hunts, and it keeps track of all your stats. It's pretty crazy. However, the deer do like to react in very interesting ways. As you can see, this deer is running under the water. And then when you drive around the truck, it's a very cheap way to win. You just drive up. Oh, look, there's a deer. Shoot it, and it flies. Wow, that deer really flipped out. One thing I remember doing as a kid, and something that I'll bring up because, well, I know you guys love this type of thing, is that you can actually get into glitch heaven using the truck. The easiest way to do it is to go to firing range, and you get in your truck, and you'll notice that you steer the truck with the mouse while accelerating with W. This is very weird. Well, when you move the mouse a little too much, you give yourself motion sickness and you fly all around. If you can't drive up a mountain the traditional way, mess around with the mouse and you end up on top. Here you can kind of see glitch heaven. I did the same thing in Wyoming, except this time I actually fell off the map and I started wandering into the undeveloped wasteland. And once I got to a certain point, the game just sort of crashed. Probably the best thing about Deer Hunter over Cabela's Dangerous Hunts is that you can actually customize your weapons, and they do have the 30-30. You can name the gun. I named this one Poop. And you can, kind of customize what type of scope you want and the camo you want. It's very basic, and there's not really that many options. It makes you feel like there's a lot to choose from, but there's mainly like 1 or 2 camos here and there and not much more. Not a bad game, definitely janky, but maybe this is my childhood talking, but I'd rather play Deer Hunter than Cabela's. And it just gets me thinking about why you don't see that many hunting games today. And I think it's because they just don't really sell well. I can't think of how many of my friends actually played hunting games. We did as kids. I know I had one on Xbox, and I think everyone goes through that hunter phase, but now that they're not really around, I don't really hear people complaining. I don't hear people being like, man, I wish there was more hunting games. I see it online, but none of my friends are really aching for that new hunter game. The Hunter Call of the Wild, like I mentioned before, is the newest one that I own, and it's alright, but like Dangerous Hunts, it's kind of linear. So let's pretend that you wanted to choose between these 2 games. Well, I can tell you that I'm going to go with Deer Hunter, mainly because the HUD doesn't look as cluttered. You can actually customize your weapons and have a more wide range of caliber. And I know how it works, and it teaches the basics of hunting. But if you're someone who doesn't want to sit in a tree stand all day or sit prone aiming across water hoping to see a deer, then Cabela's Dangerous Hunts is great because everything pops in your face. You really don't have to go that far. As an added bonus, let's look at Duck Hunter Pro. LOL, nope, never mind. God. If you want to be free, don't use Windows 10.